So what I've got here is half a cup of oatmeal, which I am going to cook. I'll add a little bit of water to it. Nothing fancy. Okay, Gordon Ramsay would be proud. And here's a neat little thing I have. It's a Sistema cooking system for eggs, and it makes it real quick and easy. I don't need any oils. I don't need to use the stove. I just crack a couple eggs in it and pop it in the microwave, and they're done. There's my 27 grams of pecans, or not pecans, those are almonds. So that's what I get for the day. I get the eggs, I get the oatmeal, and the almonds. Now for this little contraption, it's important to make sure this little lid's flipped up, allows the steam to escape. All you do, add your eggs, of course, crack them just like that. Okay, eggy shells. And there you go. And so having the eggs in there, it's important not to spill it for one thing. And also I didn't have a fork handy. So what I'm going to do, my hands are clean. I washed them before this. I'm just going to whip that up. You want to pop those egg yolks, because if you don't pop the egg yolks when you microwave eggs, they will explode. Close the lid, put the safety lock on there to keep it locked down. Make sure that steam vent is open. And that's a very important part. Put it in the microwave for 45 seconds, and then you just open the microwave, stir it up, and microwave it for another 30 seconds, and they will be done, as well as the oatmeal. And I'll be right back. So, there it is. Here's my oatmeal, all cooked up. It's nice and hot. I'm going to let that cool off. What I like to do with my egg, you see that's fully cooked in there. And I just like to flop it on down into my oatmeal and eat it like that. Got my nuts, those are ready to go. And I'm gonna let that cool off a little bit, and I'm just gonna chop it up with you. Kind of scratch this a little bit while I talk to you. And making YouTube videos is harder than I thought. Anything that you think might go wrong, it probably will go wrong. I'm not gonna go over everything that just went wrong. First video, YouTube, forgive me. Things will get better. I don't even know at this point what my videos are going to look like in the end. How are my editing skills going to be? Hopefully good. But I guarantee my videos will get better the more I get used to this and learn basically what I'm going to encounter during filming, which is equipment failure. And camera angles, intros, outros, there's a lot to go over there. Right now, I'm not feeling so good because this last week I took a week off to eat whatever I wanted. And basically I just ate whatever I wanted. I still ate healthy. I had a McDonald's hamburger. I had a slice of cake. I had a pizza. I had beer. Nothing really good, actually. What I'm trying to say is my anxiety, my depression is up. I can tell. I'm lethargic. I'm lazy. I'm not feeling very inspired to do anything really other than sleep. But a little over a week ago, I was feeling great. I was feeling energetic, great sleep, anxiety and depression almost gone. Spring is here. I decided, I'm going to take a week off before I start this YouTube stuff and see what it was like when what I used to eat, see what it's like to live that way again, just for a week. Take a week off, not even going to the gym. Skip the gym the whole week. This is Monday, almost exactly a week later. And let me tell you, it's not good. But I used to live my life just eating whatever I wanted, drinking alcohol, basically just poisoning myself. But the weird thing is, the scary thing is that it felt normal. I just felt normal. And then going on this 12-week roller coaster of a program at 50 years old, trying to get my health back in shape and all that kind of stuff. You know, cut the fat, gain the muscle, yada, yada. Man, I can't believe I used to live like that. So, cheers. Here's to 12 weeks of my program, of getting my life back, of gaining ownership over myself, over my mind, my body, and my spirit. So yeah, things are going to get better as far as the YouTube goes. And this is just the beginning. This is week 1 at 235 pounds, 50 years old. 16 hours fasting, 8 hours eating window. I'll keep you updated. I won't post anything about my breakfast because I just showed you what that is. And that's pretty much every day. My pre-workout's pretty easy. Banana, protein shake. I will show you my post-workout meals. Those are a little more complicated and they're fun. Check your calculator. Make sure you're getting the calories that you need. Sometimes I'm not going to get 240 grams of protein. Sometimes I'll get 230 grams of protein, 220 grams of protein. Sometimes I'll get 280 grams of carbohydrates on leg day. Spaghetti day is leg day. I'll show you that later. But that's sort of glycogen depletion, because leg day is a heavy compound movement that uses a lot of muscular energy. So on my Thursdays, which is leg day, I like to replenish my glycogen stores to bring my energy back up. Other than that, I'm a higher protein in order to preserve and repair muscles. My fats are at 80 grams. It might be a little over, a little under. Don't stress over it. What your macros are at, just try to maintain your percentage, your macro ratio. Get it into the zone. Whatever your ratio is, it's different for everybody. What's most important is your calories. Make sure you're within your calorie range. If you're going above your calories, and I hear this, people say this all the time, I don't know why I'm losing weight. I'm tracking my calories, I'm eating healthy, and I still can't lose weight. Okay, so you're tracking your calories. What'd you eat for dinner? Well, I had chicken, rice, and broccoli. Of course, it's a bro meal, right? Well, how many grams was that chicken? They would tell me, oh, it's like a serving. Well, how much is a serving? No, just a small portion. Well, you're not going to know what the numbers are unless you weigh that chicken out before cooked. How much rice did you have? Well, I had a good heaping portion of rice, a pile of it. Well, how many calories was that? How many carbs did you just eat? There are a lot of people who don't know. They just eat healthy and they can't figure it out. I'm eating 2,000 calories a day, we'll say. Okay, and did you eat anything else that you didn't track? Well, yeah, I had a little dollop of peanut butter. I go, okay, so how many calories is that? Well, I don't know. It might have been an insignificant portion of peanut butter, as an example. And they'll tell me, well, I did have a couple more throughout the day. A couple more, just small dollops of peanut butter, no big deal, no reason to track it. Well, at the end of the day, that might be 200-300 calories or more, just from peanut butter, and you didn't track it. Or even people who would take, a couple crackers or a couple chips throughout the day and snack. You got to track that. Me, I track everything down to the last gram. You saw my almonds, 27 grams of almonds. My calories for the day have been taken care of ahead of time. The whole week, I know exactly what I'm going to eat for my fast break, for my pre-workout, for my post-workout, for the whole week, so I don't have to guess. That's why using a calorie macro tracker is very important. Okay? Track your calories, and it helps if you do it ahead of time. So today, this is my fast break. I know what I'm eating before I hit the gym. Today is chest, back, and ab day. I know what I'm going to eat. Okay? I know what my post-workout meal is going to be, because technically it's Tuesday. It's Taco Tuesday. That's what I'm having. I know exactly what I'm having. I wanted to have half a cup of cheese for both my tacos. Can't do that. According to my calorie tracker, it put me over, so I had to keep reducing the cheese to a quarter cup of cheese. Well, bummer. But that's some of the sacrifices you have to make. A little less of this, like this oatmeal right here. I want some honey in there. It'd make it really tasty. However, my calorie tracker says, nope, you can't afford the calories. I think I'm at 2,399 without looking. I'm like 1 calorie short of 2,400 calories. That's how accurate and precise you got to be to produce the results that you want. what I'm going to do next is I'll show you my calorie calculator or my Fat Secret application, and just go over briefly what it kind of looks like for my week. And so for anybody who's interested in using an application, you don't have to use that one. I'm not promoting it. It's just what I use. I've used it for years. It works. And that's what I like. So what I'm going to do next, briefly show you that, and then we'll move on to the next episode or whatever. So here's my application. Basically what it's showing here is the calories I got in every day. Here's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The week's not even over. You notice that line right there is my 2,400 calorie goal. Here Monday, I was not feeling good at all. I had myself a couple tortillas and probably a cup of cheese, and that was it. The prior week was no bueno. It'll show your macros for the week. As you can see right here, I have 33% of carbohydrates, my 30% of fats, dead on. 37% of 40% proteins, almost there. It's not bad for an entire week, and I haven't even eaten all this yet. The application will also give you your nutrient profile. It's showing my max for the week, my max goals right here in this column. This column on the left side is showing the calories I actually consumed or will consume. Now in red, it'll show you how much you've gone over. And this week I will go over 13 grams in carbohydrates for this week. Now usually I don't look at the weekly count, which is really probably the most important. What I'll do is I'll do it on a day-to-day basis. For example, today, this is what I'm getting with Taco Tuesday. I'm getting 31% carbohydrates, 29% fats, 40% protein, dead on. So that's good. So how many calories did I get? Let's go to nutrients. So today, I'm getting 2,395 calories. As you can see, it's -5, just short of my 2,400 calorie day. Goal for the day, my protein, just 4 grams over. Carbohydrates, 14 grams over. My fiber is looking good there for a 50-year-old guy. You got to make sure you get your fiber. I went about 8 grams over, not a big deal. Sugars, fats, you want to definitely track. That's part of the macros, part of your macros. I got 79 grams out of 80. Almost nailed that one too. Down here, my cholesterol is 169 milligrams over. Not a big deal. I work out. Sodium here is 1,319 milligrams over. Again, not a big deal. Those are electrolytes. I sweat those out in the gym. I do watch my blood pressure. That's why I am tracking my sodium content. So not too bad. And it's really easy to do. You just go to your diary, for example. And here's today. You see my break fast was 2 large eggs, 27 grams of almonds, and 40 grams of oatmeal. Looks like I still have a cup of milk to drink. So that sounds good. That'll go really well with my break fast, my fast break. For lunch, this is what I consider my lunch, is my pre-workout meal, which is 1.5 scoops today of All Max Isoflex whey protein powder. I'm going to have another 1/2 cup of oatmeal. And we want to go to dinner. And you'll see there's my Taco Tuesday right there. All the ingredients I use. I don't use sour cream. I use plain non-fat yogurt. Same thing. It's just healthier for you than sour cream. I even measured out my 6 tablespoons of paste picante salsa. Everything's measured. Everything's weighed out. It all adds up. Snacks and other. I found out the other day that my Universal Nutrition omega-3 and essential fatty acid supplement actually gives me 50 calories. I did not know that until I looked at the label. So I started counting that too, because I'm getting 50 grams or 50 calories just from that stack. So pretty cool application. You can even go to another program here and you can see your weight. You can adjust where your weight's at. It'll give you a graph on what your weight looks like. Highly advisable to track your weight every day at the same time of the day. Like right when you wake up, go to the bathroom and then weigh yourself every single day at the same time. And over time, you'll notice the graph starts to go down and down and down. Not drastically, but you'll see something moving. And so anyways, that's the application I use. I track my calories. I track my macros. Macros aren't real important to get exact. Your calories are. That's how you're going to lose weight. I'm pretty happy with what I did today. Could use a little more protein, but it's kind of a juggling act to get the calories and everything together. So, all right, I'll see you in the next part. What's up, y'all? Let's get to cooking. Today was leg day. Did my squats, my deadlifts, my curls, extensions, and my calves. So I depleted my glycogen stores. So it's spaghetti leg day. Gonna up my carbohydrates up just for the day. Now here's the star of the show: 400 grams of lean ground beef. It's 93 to 7% fat ratio. So I'll enter that in my calculator as well as all these ingredients I'm going to show you. Next up, I'm going to cook with some extra virgin olive oil. And I usually don't cook with olive oil, only on leg days when I'm making my saute base. A friend of mine thinks the devil is in this bottle. He's probably right. However, I believe these are healthy fats, and if I'm not cooking with it, I'll add it to other foods to just up my fat macro. Now here's minced garlic in a jar. Yes, I did wash my fingers after I handled that beef. I know about cross-contamination, y'all. You can use powdered garlic. You can use dehydrated garlic. These you can find on the spice rack just to make it a little easier. Or you can use fresh garlic if you want to take the time to chop it up. Speaking of chopped up, red onions. I like them thick. I like them chunky. You don't have to use onions. You can chop them up fine. You can use powder. You can use dehydrated onions. This is what I use. Now just go ahead and stir that together to create your aromatic base. Let the flavors, make sure the right burner is on. Always make sure the burner is on. You want to actually be cooking. Let these flavors infuse, and this will create the base for my easy peasy spaghetti sauce. And next up, I will show you a gadget I use for my spaghetti. So here's my little Fasta Pasta. I call it my Fasta Pasta. It's a little gadget I got off Amazon, and it works wonders. Right here, 2 serving sizes of spaghetti. You can measure it out. That's pretty handy. 1 serving size. I don't trust those holes, so I measure mine out by the gram just to be more accurate. The lid on it has a little grates on the end to drain it. Here you put your spaghetti in, and then after you're done cooking your spaghetti, you put the lid on. It fits loosely. It's not going to snap on. There's little grates on the end here. After you're done cooking your spaghetti, you just plop on the lid, and there's 2 sides there that keep your fingers from getting burned, and you can just drain your spaghetti all in one unit. I love this thing. And now I'm gonna weigh my spaghetti. I don't trust the quarter size serving or anything like that. I like everything weighed out by the grams. I put a glass on the scale and zero it out and place my spaghetti inside. I was going for 250 grams of spaghetti. It's 248 grams. You know what? I'll adjust 2 grams on my calculator. However, 2 grams of spaghetti, not a big deal. Probably half of 1 stick, if that. There's my spaghetti. I'm just going to add some cold, fresh water, and we're going to get to cooking that. Now, right here, I'm going to just demonstrate the lid. It does fit on loosely. It doesn't snap on like Tupperware, so you have to hold the container itself and the lid before you drain. So make sure you hold the sides when you pull it out of the microwave. Here, I'm going to cook my spaghetti for 14 minutes, and I won't have to worry about a dang thing. Notice the lid's off. Also notice the mess on the top of the microwave I didn't see before. Anyways, put it in for 14 minutes, run off, do what you got to do. You don't have to monitor a big pot on the stove and stir it or worry about it foaming over. Okay, and now let's get back to that ground beef that's been sitting there all lonely for the past 7 minutes. I've got it on about medium high. What I'm going to do is what everybody else does, really, is just chop it up, stir it, make sure it's well done. It's thoroughly cooked all the way through and brown, just to avoid the chance of it having uncooked E. coli bacteria internally in the ground beef. All right, so what I'm going to do now is add some Italian seasoning to intensify the layers, the depth of the flavor for my sauce. It contains basil, oregano, and thyme. Now, of course, you can use fresh ingredients if you want to take the quote-unquote time. Haha. I don't have time. I want this in my stomach right now. It was leg day. I'm hungry. It just adds to the earthy and sweet Italian flavor profile that we all know and love. Canned mushrooms, you can use fresh mushrooms if you want. It just takes time to wash them up, slice them. You can get them already sliced. You should still wash them. It takes a little extra time. I don't care. I want this in my stomach. Canned mushrooms, good enough. It adds that mushroomy flavor that I do so desire in my spaghetti sauce. So at the time of recording this video, I had been using tomato paste for my sauce. The reason I use that is because I like a thicker consistency to my sauce, almost like a stew, versus the watery type of sauce like ragu or ragu. Now this paste is 300 calories for the can, 60 grams of carbs, 200 milligrams of sodium. I'm now switching to a sauce. And the reason why it's less calories, 140 calories versus 300. It's now 28 grams of carbs for the sauce versus 60. And I know I said this is a carb loading day. However, at the end of the spaghetti meal for my spaghetti leg day, I'm getting upwards to 280 grams of carbs, which is pretty crazy. So if I switch to a sauce, I'll be cutting those carbs in half. So by the end of the day, I'll be getting 250 grams of carbs. So that's like a carb per pound of body weight. That's good enough to load my body with glycogen. The only caveat is the paste is 200 milligrams of sodium, and sauce is 2,240 milligrams of sodium. That's my almost my entire daily intake just for one meal. Considering most people, Americans in particular, consume 3,400 milligrams of sodium, I think I'm in a good boat. So yeah, I'm switching to tomato sauce, but I'm gonna miss this consistency. Look at that; it's like an Italian stew. Okay, so now it's time to join these two bad boys up. Meat, sauce. Notice the fat draining off there. That's the 7% fat from the 93.7 ground beef. It's fine. I already calculated that into my calculator, and I'm not really high on fats in this particular day. Most days my fats are pretty good, but if you want to drain that off as saturated fat, you can do so. In my opinion, fat adds a little flavor. So versus like an 80-20 beef, which is going to pour off like a waterfall. Italian seasoning, there it is again. I like a lot of Italian seasoning, so a little more, you can't go wrong. So all I'm going to do here is stir this up, mix all the ingredients together, get the flavor profile to mesh. And this is basically the point in time, I call it romancing the sauce. And man, that's starting to look good. It's not real saucy like most people like their spaghetti sauce, but I like the sauce to stick to my spaghetti anyways. So it's more like a stew. That's the way I like it. If you like ragu type of sauce, you can have it. This is my pasta. Okay, we forgot about the spaghetti that was in the microwave, right? Let's take care of that. So I'm going to grab the lid and show you how to take it out safely. Be very careful you don't spill on yourself. Just pinch those two sides on the lid and the container itself. It'll come out real easy, and you drain it. Do not rinse your noodles off. You will rinse off all the nutrients and starches, which help the sauce stick to the noodles in the first place. I hate it when people rinse their noodles off when they're eating spaghetti. I pour my stuff in a bowl. Most stuff I pour in a bowl like slop because I'm just getting my macros, dude. I'm not going to plate it up and put a sprig of parsley on the side to spice up my tray, for looks or anything like that. It's not a restaurant. I'm home alone. Nobody cares. I'm going to get my carbs, my fats, my protein, and I'm going to start building muscle. So yeah, it is ready to go. Look at that steaming bowl. Oh, this is beautiful. And after a good leg day of fasting, this is my main meal. No nuts, no bananas, no eggs. This is quite the treat. And that's about it. So I will get the next video up soon, and peace out.